There we go.
That's gonna take up all his storage.
He deleted a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He put like 50 gigs on his phone already today. That's what he told me. He said, don't want to start deleting shit. Yeah, he did. Because we were thinking, like, he's going to have it charged and the memory. And so we're like, get it all off. Is that like what?
No, I don't think so. But sorry, I can see.
Good evening and welcome to Johnson Senior High School Drama Club's presentation of Harvey. Please take a moment to note the exits. For tonight's event, there are only 2 exits where you entered tonight. In the unlikely case that an evacuation of the room is necessary, emergency lights will go on and the doors of the stage will also be available for exit. Tonight's show is without intermission. Take a moment to silence all electronic devices. And this evening, the role of Myrtle May Simmons will be played by Eliana Negron. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Movie Texas classic, Harvey.
Hello? Mrs. Simmons? Mrs. Simmons is my mother. Who wants her? Wait just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Psst. Mother! Psst. Mother! Yes, dear? Telephone. Oh, no, dear. No of them here. Say I'm busy. But, Mother, it's Miss Ellerby from the newspaper. Oh, Miss Ellerby. She's very important. Hello, Miss Ellerby. This is Judith Simmons. Yes, a teen reception for the members of the Wednesday Forum. You may say program tea. My mother, you know, the late Marcella Penny Dowd, pioneer culture leader. She came here by Oxygen as a child. She founded the Wednesday Forum. Myrna, how many would you say? 75 at least. Say 100. 75. Miss Tewksbury is a soloist accompanied by Wilda McCurdy, accompanist.
Come on, Miss Tewksbury's almost finished.
She'll do an encore.
What if they don't give her a lot of applause?
I've known her for years. She'll do an encore. You may say I'm entertaining, assisted by my daughter, Myrtle May. What color would you call that?
Roger Rose, they told me.
Miss Myrtle May Simmons looked charming in a Modus Rancher rose tone crepe. I wish you could see her, Miss Ellerby.
She's almost finished. Where's the caterers?
Everything's ready. The minute she's finished singing, we open the dining room doors and begin pouring. The parlors and halls are festooned with lilacs. Yes, festooned. That's right, Miss Ellerby. This is the first party we've had in years. There's a reason why, but I don't want it in the papers. We all have our troubles. The guests? Yes.
Let her come.
If you'll excuse me now, Miss Ellerby, I'll call you later.
Mother, Miss Chauvenet just came in.
Miss Eugene Chauvernet Sr. Her father was a scout with Buffalo Bill.
That's where she got that hat.
Myrtle, you must remember to be kind to Miss Chauvernet. She has a grandson around her age.
Well, what difference would that make with Uncle Elwood?
Myrtle, we promised not to talk about that this afternoon. The point of this whole party is to get you started. We'll work through the older group to get to the younger group.
We can't have men here in the evening. And that's when men come to see you. In the evenings. The only reason why we can have a party this afternoon is because Uncle Elwood's playing pinochle at the 4th Avenue Firehouse. Thank God for Firehouse.
I know, but they'll just have to invite you and it won't hurt them one bit. Oh, Myrtle, you have so much to offer. I don't care what anyone says. There's something sweet about every young girl. And a man takes that sweetness. Oh, never mind. But you'll find somebody. That's all there is to it.
And then they'll say, that's Myrtle May Simmons. Her uncle is Elwood P. Dowd. Elwood P. Dowd and his pal.
You promised.
All right, let's get them into the dining room.
Now, when the members enter and you make your little speech on behalf of your grandmother, be sure to do this.
And then after I do this, I mention my Uncle Elwood and his pal Harvey. Damn Harvey!
That's right, Myrtle May. Let everybody in the Wednesday Forum hear you. Let them hear you say that name. You promised you wouldn't say it, and you said it.
I'm sorry, Mother, but how do you know Uncle Elwood won't come here and introduce Harvey to everyone?
This is very unkind of you. Your Uncle Elwood is the biggest heartache I have, and so what if people call him peculiar? He's still my brother, and he won't be home this afternoon.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
But Mother, why can't we live like other people?
Must I remind you? Elwood is not living with us. We are living with him.
Living with him and Harvey? Did Grandmother know about this?
I've wondered about that. She never wrote me if she did.
Why did she have to leave all of her property to Uncle Elwood?
Well, I suppose it's because she died in his arms. People are sentimental about things like that.
You always tell me that, and I don't understand what you mean.
Be didactic, Myrtle May. It's not becoming of a young girl, and men loathe it. Don't forget to smile.
I'll do my best.
Oh dear, Miss Tewksbury's voice is certainly fading. Lovely Miss Tewksbury, perfectly lovely. I loved it.
Make yourself comfortable, Harvey. Hello? Oh, no, you've got the wrong number. How are you anyway? This is Elwood P. Dowd speaking. I'll do. Well, thank you. And what is your name, my dear? Miss Elsie Greenwald. Harvey, it's a Miss Elsie Greenwald. And how are you today, Miss Greenwald? That's fine. Yes, my dear, I'd be happy to join your club. I belong to several clubs now. The Country Club, the University Club, the Pinnacle Club at the 4th Avenue Firehouse. I spend a great deal of my time there, and at Charlie's place and over at Eddie's bar. And what is your club, Miss Greenwald? Harvey, I do the Ladies' Home Journal, Good Housekeeping, and the Open Road for Boys for 2 years for $6.25. Sounds fine to me. I'll join it. How does it sound to you, Harvey? Harvey said he'd like to join too. Yes, 2 subscriptions. They'll have everything to this address. I hope I have the pleasure of meeting you sometime, my dear. Harvey, she wants to meet me. When? When would you like to meet me, Miss Greenwald? Why not right now? My sister seems to be having a few friends in, and we would consider it an honor if you would come to join us. My sister would be delighted. 343 Temple Drive. I hope to see you in a very few moments, my dear. She's coming right over. Harvey, don't you think we'd better go freshen up? Yes, so do I.
Can't seem to remember where I put that guest list. I must read it to Miss Ellaby. Jeeves! Have you seen the guest list?
No, Mrs.
Go look on my dresser.
Mother, Mrs. Chauvin is asking for you. Here she is. Here's Mother.
Vita Louise Simmons. I thought you were dead.
Aunt Ethel. No, I'm very much alive. Thank you.
And this full-grown girl is your daughter. I know you just you were a baby.
I know.
What's her name, dear?
This is Myrtle. Myrtle May for the 2 sisters of her father. He's dead. That's what confused you.
Where's Elwood?
Oh, he couldn't be here tonight. But let me get you some tea.
Elwood isn't here.
No.
Oh, shame on him. That was the main reason I came. I want to see Elwood.
Come, there are loads of people anxious to speak to you.
Do you realize, Vita, that it has been years since I've seen Elwood?
No, where does the time go?
But I don't understand it. I was saying to Mr. Chauvenet only the other night, what on earth do you suppose has happened to Elwood Dowd? He never comes to any of the club dances anymore. I haven't seen him on a horse show in years. Does Elwood see anybody these days?
Oh yes, Elwood sees somebody.
Oh, yes.
Your Uncle Elwood, child, is one of my favorite people. Always has been.
I remember.
Is Elwood happy, Vita?
Yes, Aunt Ethel, Elwood's very happy. You don't need to worry about that. Why, there's Miss Frank Cummings, just arrived. Don't you want to speak to her?
My, but she looks ghastly. Hasn't she failed though?
Well, if you see her, wait till you see her husband.
Is that so? I must have that hope. She was frightful. I thought she was dead.
Oh, no.
Now, what about tea, Vita?
Oh, yes, if you will forgive me, I will precede you.
Elwood Dowd, bless your heart.
Aunt Ethel, what a pleasure to come and find a beautiful woman waiting for me.
Elwood, you haven't changed.
Come on, Ethel, you mustn't miss the party.
There's punch if you don't like tea.
But I do like tea. Stop pulling at me, you two. Now, Elwood, what night next week do you come to dinner?
Any night at all, Aunt Ethel, I'd be delighted.
Oh, there's mail for you. I left it up in your room.
Did you, Vita? That was very nice of you. Aunt Ethel, I'd like to introduce you to Harvey. As you can see, he's a puka. Harvey, you've heard me speak of Miss Chauvenet. She's always been she's one of my oldest and dearest friends. Yes, she's the one. This is the one. He said he wouldn't have known you from anywhere. You both look lovely. Now, Harvey, let's go to all of our friends. Oh, I beg your pardon, Aunt Ethel, if you'll excuse me.
What?
You're standing in his way. Come on in with me, Harvey. What? I'll be in with you in just a moment. Now, Aunt Ethel, I can see you're disturbed about Harvey. Please don't be. He stares like that at everybody. It's his way. But he liked you, though. I could tell. He liked you very much.
Some tea, perhaps?
Why, not right now. I think I'll be running along.
But
So sorry.
I'll be talking to you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Myrtle, where are you going?
up to my room. He's introducing Harvey to everybody. I can't face those people.
Myrtle, come here. Stay with me. We'll get him out of here and up in his room.
I can't. I just can't.
Myrtle. Now, pretend I'm fixing your corsage.
Oh, Mother.
We've got to. Pretend we're having a gay little chat. When you catch his eye, tell me. He always comes to me. Now then, do you see him?
No, not yet. How do you do, Mrs. Cummings?
Smile, can't you? Have you no pride? I'm smiling. And he's my own brother.
Mother, people get hit by trucks every day. Why can't something like that happen to Uncle Elwood?
Myrtle, I'm ashamed of you. This thing is not your uncle's fault.
You're sticking me with that pen.
That's Miss Ellaby. Keep smiling, keep waving.
Mrs. Cummings is leaving. Uncle Elwood must have told her about Harvey.
Hello, this is Vita Simmons. What should you wear? What have you on? Who is this? But I don't know you, Mrs. Greenwald. May I ask who invited you? Mr. Dowd. Why, thank you, just the same, but I believe there's been a mistake. Well, I never.
Never what?
One of your uncle's friends asked if she could bring a quart of gin to the Wednesday Forum.
There he is. He's talking to Mrs. Halsey.
Is Harvey with him?
What a thing to ask. How could anyone tell? How could anyone tell except Uncle Elwood?
Elwood, can I see you a moment, dear? Myrtle, I promise you, this is the last time your uncle has disgraced us in this house. I'm going to do something I've never done before.
What did you mean just now when you said that this isn't Uncle Elwood's fault? If it's not his fault, then whose fault is it?
Never you mind. I know whose fault it is.
You're no match for Uncle Elwood.
You'll see.
Mother's waiting for you.
Elwood, can I see you a moment, dear?
Yes, Peter. Excuse me, Harvey.
Could you sit down here a minute and wait for me until the party's over? I have to speak to you. It's very important.
Yes, Peter. I have a little free time right now, and you're free to all of it. Do you want Harvey to wait too?
Yes, I certainly do.
Ah, Jane Austen. Sit down, Harvey. Vita wants to talk to us. She said it's very important. I think she wants to congratulate us on the impression we made at her party. Jane Austen. Deluxe edition. Limited. Grosset and Dunlap. The usual acknowledgments. Chapter 1.
Walking down a strange
And then Sanderson wants to read.
They're the ones that started off. Kelly and Vita started off.
Yeah. Beaver's white on first time. Kelly's white
Mrs. R. Simmons, 343 Temple Drive, is that right?
Yes, it's old, but it's our home. We love it.
And you wish to enter your brother here at the sanitarium for treatment. Your brother's name?
It's,
Oh, Miss Simmons, what is your brother's name?
life isn't easy for any of us. We have to hold our head up and keep going. That's what I keep on telling Myrtle, and that's what Myrtle May keeps telling me. She's heartbroken about her Uncle Elwood. Elwood P. Dowd, that's his name.
Elwood P. Dowd. His age?
47, the 24th of April. He's a Taurus, the bull. I'm a Leo, and Myrtle is on the cusp.
47. Is he married?
Oh, no, he's never married. He's always stayed at home with Mother. He's always been a good homeboy. He loves his home.
And you have him with you now?
Yes, he's in a taxi cab out in the driveway. I gave the driver $1 to watch him, but I didn't tell him why. You can't tell these things to perfect strangers.
Mr. Wilson, would you step down to a cab in the driveway and ask a Mr. Dowd if he would be good enough to step up to room number 24, South Wing G?
Ask him.
Yes, ask him. This is his sister, Miss Simmons.
Oh, of course. I'd be glad to escort her.
Thank you.
The rates here, Miss Simmons, you'll find them printed on this card.
Thank you. This will be taken care of by my mother's estate, the late Marcella Penny Dowd, and our attorney is Judge Gaffney.
Now we'll see if Dr. Sanderson is ready to see you.
Dr. Sanderson? I want to see Dr. Chumley.
Miss Simmons, Dr. Sanderson's the doctor who sees everybody. Dr. Chumley sees no one.
He's still the head of this institution, isn't he? He's still a psychiatrist, isn't he?
Still a psychiatrist. Dr. Chumley is much more than that. He's a psychiatrist with a national reputation. Whenever people have mental breakdowns, they at once think, oh, Dr. Chumley.
That's his office over there, isn't it? You march down there and tell him I want to see him.
I wouldn't dare disturb him, Miss Simmons. I'd be discharged if I did.
Well, I don't like to be pushed off onto just any second fiddle.
Dr. Sanderson is nobody's second fiddle. He's young, of course, and he hasn't been out of medical school very long. But Dr. Chumley tried out 12 and kept Sanderson. He's really wonderful. To the patients.
Very well. Tell him I'm here.
Right away.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Isn't this wonderful, Vita?
Oh my god.
Mrs. Simmons?
You startled me. You're Dr. Sanderson, right?
Yes. Will you please be seated?
Yes, I hope you don't think I'm jumpy like that all the time.
Of course not. Miss Kelly tells me you're concerned about your brother. Dowd, is it? Elwood P. Dowd.
Yes, doctor. He's,
I can understand that this situation is stressful. Naturally, these things aren't easy for the families and patients. I understand.
Well, Elwood's doomed to himself, doctor. That's the thing. Myrtle May has a right to nice friends. She's young and her whole life is ahead of her. That's my daughter.
Your daughter. How long has it been since you began to notice any peculiarity in your brother's actions?
I noticed it right away when Mother died, and Myrtle May and I moved back to Des Moines to live with Elwood. I could see that he...
That he what, Miss Simmons? Take your time. Don't strain. Let it come. I'll wait for it.
Doctor, everything I tell you is confidential, isn't it?
That's understood.
Because it's a slap in the face to everything we've stood for in this community, the way Elwood is behaving now.
I'm not a gossip, Miss Simmons. I'm a psychiatrist.
Well, for one thing, he drinks.
To excess?
To excess. Isn't it excess when a man never lets a day go by without stepping into one of those cheap taverns, hanging around with riffraff and people you've never even heard of, inviting them to the house, playing cards with them, giving them food and money, and here I am trying to get Myrtle May started with a nice group of young people. If that isn't excess, I don't know what is.
I didn't doubt your statement, Miss Simmons. I merely asked if your brother drinks.
Yes, he definitely drinks, and I want him committed permanently, because I cannot stand another day with that rabbit. Myrtle May and I have to set a place at the table for Harvey. We have to move over on the sofa and make room for Harvey. And then this afternoon at the party when Miss Chauvenet there, we didn't even know anything about Harvey until she showed up. Don't you think it would have been a bit kinder of Mother to write to me and tell me about Harvey? Don't you, Doctor?
Well, I really couldn't answer that question.
Well, I can. Certainly would have.
This person you call Harvey, who is he?
He's a rabbit.
Perhaps, but just who is he? Some companion? Someone your brother has picked up in one of these bars of whom you disapprove?
Doctor, I've been telling you, Harvey is a big white rabbit. 6 feet or is it 6 feet and a half? Heaven knows I don't know, but I've had enough of it.
Mrs. Simmons, let me understand this. You say...
Doctor, do I have to keep repeating myself? My brother insists that his closest friend is a big white rabbit. That rabbit's name is Harvey. Harvey lives with us. He and Harvey go every place together. Elwood buys theater tickets, river tickets for the both of them. As I told Myrtle May, if her uncle was so lonesome, he had to bring something home. Why couldn't he bring something human? He has me, doesn't he? He has Myrtle May, doesn't he?
Mrs. Simmons?
Doctor, I'm going to tell you something I've never told anybody in the world before. Every once in a while, I see that rabbit myself. Isn't that terrible? I've never told anybody that.
Mrs. Simmons?
What's the worst part is, he's every bit as big as Elwood says he is. Don't ever tell that to anyone, Doctor. I'm ashamed of it.
I can see you've been under a great nervous strain recently.
Yes, I certainly have.
Grief over your mother's death depressed you considerably.
Yes, Doctor.
Been losing sleep?
How can anybody sleep with that going on?
Short-tempered over trifles.
You just try living with those two and see how your temper holds up.
Loss of appetite?
How can anybody eat at a table with that? Well, I've had enough of it. I'll sell the house, be appointed conservator of Elwood's estate, and Myrtle May and I will be able to entertain the friends of peace. I've had enough of it, Doctor.
Of course, Miss Simmons, you're tired.
Yes, Doctor.
You've been worrying a great deal.
Certainly.
Now I'm going to help you.
Oh, Doctor.
Just wait there, Miss Simmons. I'll be right back.
I'll just go out to the cab to get his things.
Why didn't anybody answer the buzzer?
I didn't hear you, Doctor.
I rang and rang. Mrs. Simmons? Sound the gong, Wilson. That poor woman must not leave the grounds.
She's been a getaway hot dog.
Her condition is serious. Go after her.
I can't believe it.
Henry, Dr. Sanderson, allow no one out of the main gate. We're looking for a patient. I shouldn't have left her alone, but no one answered the buzzer.
Wilson wasn't south, Doctor.
When have we available, Miss Kelly?
Number 13, Upper West R is ready, Doctor.
Have her taken there immediately. I will begin prescribing preliminary treatments. Get the brother on the phone. Dowd's the name. Elwood P. Dowd.
But, Doctor, I didn't know it was the woman who needed the treatment. She said it was for her brother.
Of course she did. As the oldest dodge in the world, always used by the cunning type of psychopath. She clearly knew her brother was out here to commit her, so she came out here to discredit him. Get him on the phone, will you please, Miss Kelly?
But, Doctor, I thought the woman was all right, so I had Wilson take the brother up to room number 24, South Wing G. They're there now.
You had the brother taken in by Wilson? No gags. Please, Kelly, you're not serious, are you?
Oh, I did, Doctor, I did. Oh, Doctor, I'm terribly sorry.
Well, if you're sorry, that fixes everything. Oh, no.
I'll do it, Doctor, I'll do it. Miss Stumpy, will you please unlock the door to room number 24 and give Mr. Dowd his clothes and...
Ask him to step down to the office right away.
Ask him to step down to the office right away. There's been a terrible mistake and Dr. Sanderson wants to explain.
Explain. Apologize.
Thank heaven she hadn't put him in the hydro tub yet. She'll let him know.
Beautiful. And dumb, too. It's almost too good to be true.
But, Doctor, I feel terrible. I didn't know. Judge Gaffney called and said the woman and her brother would be down here. When they got here, oh, you don't have to be sarcastic.
Oh, don't I? Stop worrying. We'll squirm out of this some way.
Well, where are you going?
I'm about to tell the chief about this, Kelly. He may want to handle this himself.
Oh, he'll be furious. I know he will. He'll die, and then he'll terminate me.
The responsibility is all mine, Kelly.
Oh, no, tell him it was all my fault, Doctor.
I never mention your name, except in my sleep.
But this man Dowd.
Keep him here, Kelly. I'll be right back.
Well, what shall I say to him? What shall I do? He'll be furious.
Look, Kelly, he'll be fit to be tied, but he's a man, isn't he?
I guess so. His name is Mr.
Go into your old routine. You know, the eyes, the swish, the works. I'm immune, but I've seen it work on some of the people out here, some of the patients. Keep him here, Kelly, if you have to do a striptease.
Oh, you're wonderful, Dr. Sanderson. You're just about the most wonderful person I've ever met.
Well, yeah, but how about give me a little, just the same?
What?
The Simmons did.
Did you catch her?
Oh, she was as sick as a whistle. She was coming down the path, humming a little tune. I jumped up in a tree, and I said, sister, there's a man that wants to see you. You should have heard her yell. She's wacky, all right?
Take her to number 13 Upper West Armors.
She's there already. I'm going to the dye kitchen. She's kicking and screaming like hell. Oh. You gotta come in and tell me, undress her while I hold her down.
Just a second, Wilson. Dr. Sanderson told me to stay here until her brother came down.
Well, make it snappy.
You're Mr. Dowd.
LFP.
I'm Miss Kelly.
Let me give you one of my cards. If you should want to call me at this number. Don't call me at that one. That's the old one.
Thank you. Won't you have a chair, please, Mr. Dowd?
I'll have to. Allow me.
Dr. Sanderson is very anxious to speak with you. He'll be down here in just a second. Please, be seated.
After you, my dear.
Oh, I really can. I'm in and out all the time. You mustn't mind me. Please, have a seat.
After you.
Okay. Okay, you might need to look at magazine.
Oh, no, I'd much rather look at you, Miss Kelly, if you don't mind. You really are lovely.
Thank you. Some people don't seem to think so.
Some people are blind. That is often brought to my attention. And now, Miss Kelly, I'd like to have you meet
Mr. Dowd,
LFP. Let me give you one of my cards. If you should want to call me,
later on be glad to. Please be seated. You've met Miss Kelly, haven't you?
I have had that pleasure.
Will you please sit down?
After Miss Kelly.
Sit down, Kelly. Mr. Dowd, is it too warm in here? Would you like me to open the window?
Mr. Dowd, Dr. Sanderson would like to know if you should open a window.
That is entirely up to him. I don't presume to live his life for him.
Now, I can see you're not the type to be taken in by any highfalutin phrases or beating around the bush.
Is that so, Doctor?
You have us at a disadvantage here. You know it. We know it. Let's lay all the cards on the table. Best way in the long run.
That certainly appeals to me, Doctor.
Best way in the long run. People are people, no matter where you go.
That is very often the case.
And being human makes you liable to mistakes. Miss Kelly and I made a mistake out here this afternoon, and we'd like to explain it to you.
It wasn't Dr. Sanderson's fault. It was all mine.
A human failing, as I said.
I find it very interesting, nevertheless. You and Miss Kelly here? This afternoon, you say?
We do hope you'll understand, Mr. Dowd.
And the responsibility is, of course, not hers, but mine.
Your attitude is old-fashioned, Doctor, but I like it.
If I had seen your sister first, that would have been an entirely different story.
Now, there you surprise me. I think the world and all of Vita, but I suppose she'd seen her day.
Do not attach any blame to her, Mr. Dowd. She's a very sick woman. Came in here insisting you were in need of treatment. That's perfectly ridiculous.
I told Vita not to worry about that. I get along fine.
Mrs. Simmons had talked to Miss Kelly, and there was that call from Judge Gaffney.
Oh, I know him. Know his wife, too. Wonderful people.
Your sister became extremely nervous and plunged into a heated tirade on your drinking.
That was Vita.
She became hysterical.
Tell Vita not to worry about that. I'll take care of that.
Oh, and I don't suppose you take a drink now and then, same as the rest of us?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I'd like one right now.
As a matter of fact, so would I. But your sister's attitude on the matter of drinking was entirely too intense. Does your sister drink, Mr. Dowd?
Oh, no, I don't think Vita has ever taken a drink.
Well, I'm going to surprise you. I think she has and does constantly.
Well, I certainly am surprised.
But it's not her alcoholism that's going to be the basis of my diagnosis of her case. It's much more serious than that. It's when she began talking so emotionally about this big white rabbit, Harvey, as I believe she called him Harvey.
Harvey is his name.
She came in here insisting you were persecuting her with this Harvey.
I haven't been persecuting you with Harvey. I don't want her to feel that way. And now, I must insist I introduce.
Just a second, Dad. This condition of your sister's didn't spring up overnight. It stems from trauma.
From what?
From trauma. It means shock. Spelled T-R-A-U-M-A. There's the birth trauma, the shock to the act of being born.
That's the one we never get over.
You have a nice sense of humor, Mr. Dowd.
I said the same about both of you.
To sum it all up, your sister's condition is serious. She must remain out here temporarily.
I've always felt that Vita should have everything she needs.
Exactly.
And I don't want Vita to stay out here unless she likes it out here.
Of course. Did Wilson get what he went after?
Yes, Doctor.
What was Mrs. Simmons' attitude?
Not unusual, Doctor.
Mr. Dowd, if this were an ordinary delusion, something reflected on the memory picture, in other words, if she were seeing something she had seen once before, that would be one thing. But it stands to reason no one has ever seen a big white rabbit 6 feet high.
Not very often, Doctor.
I like you, Dowd.
I like you too. And Miss Kelly. I like her too.
Now, if you'll sign these temporary commitment papers as next of kin, just a formality.
Oh, you better have Vita do that, Doctor. She's always done the signing and managing of the family. She's good at it.
We can't disturb her now.
Maybe I should call Judge Gaffney.
I wouldn't advise it. Tell him I advised it. And if it isn't as if you couldn't walk in here anytime and make inquiries, be glad to have you. When would you like to come back? Wednesday, say? Friday, say?
I can come back right after dinner, about an hour.
Oh. Miss Kelly and I are on duty right now.
Well, I'll come back when you get back, when you get out of work. What is that?
Miss Kelly and I don't get out of work until 10 o'clock at night.
Then I will pick you two up in a cab at 10 o'clock tonight. And the four of us will have a happy evening together. I want you to both be acquainted with a very dear friend of mine.
Oh. Dr. Trumley doesn't approve of members of the staff fraternizing, but because you've been so cooperative, perhaps we could manage it.
I'll pick you up at 10 o'clock tonight. You said later on, so later on it will be. Goodbye now.
Now I can breathe again.
Boy, that was a close shave, all right. He seemed pretty reasonable, though. That man had pride, but what he had to be proud of, I don't know. I played up to that pride. You can get to anybody if you want to.
Dr. Sanderson, you say you can get to anybody if you want to. How can you do that?
Take study, Kelly. Here's a specialized training. There's only one thing about this Dowd business I don't like.
What's that?
It's that date we've got to make with him. Of course, he's left a good friend and booster of this sanitarium, so I guess I'll have to go with him. But you don't have to go.
Oh,
No point in it. I'll sit with him, take a drink, pat him on the back, and leave. I've got a date tonight anyway.
oh. I wasn't intending on going anyways. The idea bored me stiff. I wouldn't go if I never went anywhere at all. I wouldn't go if my life depended on it.
What are you getting so emotional about, Miss Kelly?
He may be a funny man with peculiar clothes, but he knew how to act. His manners were perfect.
I saw you giving him the doll puss stare. I didn't miss that.
He wouldn't sit down till I sat down. He told me I was lovely and he called me dear. I would go have a drink with him if you were going.
Of course you would. And look at him. All he does is hang around bars. All that corny bowing and getting up out of his chair every time a woman makes a move. Why, he's as outdated as a cast iron deer. But you'd sit with him in a bar and let him flatter you. You're a wonderful girl, Kelly.
Well, let me tell you something, you.
Dr. Sanderson, Miss Kelly,
Yes, doctor.
that matter of the woman with the big white rabbit has been settled.
Yes, Mr. Dowd seemed quite reasonable.
Good. I've seen many patients in my day. I've seen animals, but never before have I heard of an animal quite that large.
Yet, Doctor, she called him Harvey.
Harvey. Unusual. Harvey's a man's name. Never before have I heard of an animal with a name like that. Perhaps we'll go see this woman, and I'll help you prescribe a treatment. I'll say, what is that hat and coat doing there?
I don't know. Miss Kelly was a Dowd's?
Mr. Dad had his hat on when he left. Perhaps it belongs to one of the relatives of a patient out here.
Let me see. Perhaps there's some identification inside. What's this? What's this? 2 holes cut in the top of this hat.
That's strange.
Some new fad. Hang them up, put them away, get them out of here.
Ah, Dr. Jumbly.
Ah, there you are.
That was every little thing.
Fair. Thank you, Wilson. Fair.
All right, look. Somebody's gonna need to help me with that Simmons dam. Ordinary sanctioning or something. She's terrible. Forgot me, didn't you? After they poured it off all by myself.
We're going to see this patient right now, Wilson.
She's upstairs within the hydro tub. Oh my God! I left the water running.
Oh my God.
Promise, have you? Hi, Dr. Sanderson. Willie, you haven't forgotten Dr. McClure's cocktail party? We promised them faithfully.
Of course not, of course not. I have to see a patient right now, but I'll be out very quickly.
Give a quick little diagnosis. We don't want to be late. I'm dying to see the inside of that house. Good evening.
Oh, good evening.
I'm Miss Chumley, Dr. Chumley's wife.
I'm happy to know you. That's my name, L.P. Let me give you one of my cards. If you want to call me at this one. Don't call me at that one. That's the old one.
Thank you. Is there something I can help you with?
What do you have in mind?
You look like you're looking for someone.
I am. I'm looking for Harvey. I ran off without him.
Harvey, is he a patient here?
Oh, no, nothing like that.
Does he work here?
Oh, no. He's what you might call my best friend. He's also a polka.
Where was he the last time you saw him?
Sitting in that chair there, with his hat and coat on the table there.
I don't see a hat and coat around here anymore. Perhaps he left?
Apparently, I can't find him anywhere.
What was that word you said earlier? Puka?
That's it.
Is that something new?
No, as I understand it, that's something very old.
I've never seemed to hear about it before.
I'm not too surprised at that. I hadn't until I met Harvey. I do hope you get the opportunity to meet him.
Thank
He'd be quite taken with you.
Thank you. That's nice of you to say, I'm sure.
Not at all. When Harvey takes a liking to someone, he expresses himself quite definitely. If he doesn't seem to be all that interested in someone, he sits there like an empty chair in a empty space in the room.
That's not a bad way to be in this day and age.
Harvey's fond of my sister Vita. That's because Vita and I come from the same family. But Vita doesn't seem too fond of Harvey. Don't you think that's rather too bad, Miss Chumley?
Well, I don't know, Mr. Dowd. I spent a long time trying to make my family like my friends. It's useless.
We must keep trying.
Trying's good, I suppose.
As Harvey would have said to me, he said to me a million times, Mr. Dowd, I would do anything. Miss Chumley,
Yes?
did you know Mrs. McIlhenny's Aunt Rose is dropping by in on her unexpectedly tonight from Cleveland?
No, I didn't.
Neither does she. That puts you in the both in the same boat, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know anybody named Mrs.
Mrs. McIlhenny. She's lived across from us for many years. Harvey, she's a wonderful woman. Harvey's told me about her Aunt Rose. That's an interesting little news item. Feel free to stutter it around.
Well,
You want to go down to Charlie's and get a drink?
No, I shouldn't. If Dr. Chumley comes back and sees that I'm gone, he'll be liable to raise... He'd be irritated.
We wouldn't want that, would we?
But I'll tell you what, however.
Well, why don't you tell me, however? I'm interested.
If your friend comes in while I'm still here, I'll give him a note for you.
Would you do that? I'd certainly appreciate that.
Yes, I'll write it on the back of this. What would you like me to tell him?
Tell him to meet me downtown.
Meet Mr. Dowd downtown. Any particular place downtown?
No, Harvey knows where. He knows this town like a book.
Harvey, you know where. Harvey what?
Just Harvey.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, what?
Me and the doctor. We're going down to drop him off. Dr. McClure's having a cocktail party.
Cocktail party and
We can give your friend a lift into town if you'd like.
I'd hate to impose on you, but I appreciate it.
No trouble at all. We're going down for Dr. McClure. His sister. She's coming in from Wichita.
Dr. McClure has a sister in Wichita.
You know Dr. McClure?
No.
But,
Are you quite sure you can't go down to Charlie's for a drink?
well, no, I shouldn't. Thank you just the same, though.
No problem at all. Bye now.
Thank you.
Oh, you can't miss Harvey. He's tall. Like this.
That Simmons woman is completely uncooperative, Doctor. Give her 2 of these at 9, another at 10. She continues to be so restless. Another trip to the hydro room at 8. We want to get her in the morning at 7. Then we'll see if she won't cooperate.
Yes,
Won't
Doctor.
be done. Well, you know where to reach me if you need me. Ready, Pat?
Yes, Willie. And, Willie?
Yes.
There was a man here earlier. Elwood P. Dowd.
That's Mrs. Simmons' brother. I gave him full visiting privileges.
He wasn't here to see her. He was here to see someone else. Some friend of his?
And who could that be, Dr. Sanderson?
I don't know.
He was here to see them. Somebody they came with this afternoon.
Was there anyone with Dowd when you saw him, Miss Kelly?
No, doctor, not when I saw him.
Well, he said there was. He said he last saw his friend there, in that chair, with his hat and coat on the table. He looked quite disappointed.
Dr. Sanderson?
I told him we could give his friend a lift into town. He could drive in the back seat. Was that all right, Willie?
Of course, of course.
He also mentioned something weird to me. Something about a puka, but I didn't quite get what that was. He said his friend's name was Harvey?
Harvey?
He said his friend was quite tall. Well, why are you looking at me like that, Willie? He was a very nice and polite man, and he merely asked that we give his friend a lift into town. If you can't do something nice for someone, then why are we living?
Harvey!
Get me that hat! By George, what are you gonna find out about this?
Mrs. Chumley, where did you say this man went?
Well,
How long ago was he in here?
just a second ago.
Henry. Dr. Sanderson.
Gaffney. Judge Gaffney.
Henry, did a man in a brown suit just leave just a moment ago? He did? He's gone.
Huh?
Doctor.
Who could have done that?
Harvey.
Use the other phone.
Doctor, I'm sure this phone can reach him.
I'm sure you're right, Doctor. Hello. Judge Gaffney, this is Dr. William Chumley, the psychiatrist. I'm calling out here this afternoon for a routine spelling check of a name of a patient we're entering into our records. Judge, you called out here this afternoon while a client of yours admitted. How is that name spelled? With a W, not a U? Mr. Owen P. Dowd? Thank you, Judge. Dr. Sanderson, I believe your name is Sanderson.
Yes, doctor.
So you know that much, do you? You went to medical school, you studied psychiatry, you graduated, and you went forth. Perhaps they didn't like to tell you that a rabbit has large, pointed ears, and that a hat for a rabbit would have to be perforated to make room for those ears.
Dr. Chumley, Mr. Dowd seemed quite reasonable when I...
Doctor, the function of a psychiatrist is to determine the difference between someone who's reasonable and really talks and acts reasonably.
Dr. Chumley,
Do you realize what you've done? Don't answer. I'll tell you. You have let a psychopathic case walk off these grounds and roam free with an overgrown white rabbit. You have subjected me, a psychiatrist, to the embarrassment of having to call, of all things, a lawyer to find out who came out here this afternoon to be committed and who came out here to commit. I'm allowed to do something I've not done in 15 years. I will go after this man, Elwood P. Dowd, and I will bring him back. And when I do bring him back, your connection with this institution is ended as of that moment. Wait a minute. Wilson, stay here. I need you. Actually, go get the car. Pat, call the first, tell him you can't make it. Kelly, help me get this woman out of the tub.
Yes, doctor.
Oh, I'll have to call the cook. We'll be home for dinner. She'll be furious. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
what's a puka?
What?
A puka.
You can search me, Miss Chumley.
I wonder if it's in the encyclopedia. It has everything. I wonder if it's a lodge or what it is. Well, I shouldn't do this now. If Dr. Chumley comes back and sees that I'm still here, he'll raise... Oh, dear.
Buka, from old Celtic mythology. A fairy spirit in animal form, always very large. The Buka appears from here and there, now and then, to this one and that one, at his own caprice. A wise but mischievous creature, very fond of rum pots and crack pots. How are you, Mr. Wilson? How are you, Mr. Wilson? Who in the encyclopedia wants to know? Oh, the hell!
That's pretty good improv.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm sure this phone can reach him.
Yeah, that was funny. That was hilarious.
Where's who? Who do you mean, Judge Gaffney?
I mean your mother. Where's Vita Louise?
Oh, we know who she is. She went to took Uncle Elwood up to the sanitarium this afternoon.
I know that, but why was I called at the club with a lot of hysteria? Couldn't even get what she was talking about. Carrying on something fierce.
Carrying on? What about?
I don't know. She was hysterical.
That's strange. She took Uncle Elwood out to the sanitarium. All she had to do was put him in. Did you find it? I'll be right up. They found it.
Who? Found what? What are you talking about?
Well, when Mother left the house to take Uncle Elwood out, I went to the real estate office to go find a buyer for the house. And what do you think I found there?
I'm not a quiz kid.
Well, I found a man who was looking for a house just like this to cut up into a buffet of apartments.
Now see here, Myrtle, this house doesn't belong to you. This house belongs to your Uncle Elwood.
But now that Uncle Elwood is locked up, Mother controls the property, doesn't she?
Where's your mother? Where's Vita Louise?
Judge, I told you, she went out to take Uncle Elwood out and talk about Harvey.
Then why did she call me at the club while I was in the middle of a game and scream at me to meet her here about something important?
I don't know. I simply don't know. Have you have the key to the house?
Certainly. It's in my safe. Myrtle, I feel pretty bad about this whole thing of locking Elwood up.
Mother and I will be able to take a long trip now, out to Pasadena.
I always liked that boy. He could have done anything, been anything, made a place for himself in the community.
And all he did was get a big rabbit.
He had everything. Brains, personality, friends. Men liked him, women liked him, I liked him.
Are you telling me that once Uncle Elwood was out with other people, that woman actually liked him?
Not since he started running around with that big rabbit. But they did once. Once that mailbox of your grandmother's was filled with those blue scented envelopes for Elwood.
I can't believe it.
Of course, there's always something different about him.
I don't doubt that.
Yes, he was always so calm about any sudden change in plans. I used to admire it. I should have been suspicious. Take your average man looking up and seeing a big white rabbit. He'd do something about it. But not Elwood. He took that calmly too. And look where it's got him.
You don't dream about how far overboard Uncle Elwood's taking it.
Oh, yes I do. He's brought that rabbit in my office many a time. I'm old, but I don't miss much. What's that noise?
That's the prospective buyer on the 3rd floor.
Thought I'd never see you again.
Judge,
Vita Louise, what's wrong, girl?
Steady, please. Not so fast. Oh! Oh my.
Judge.
Do you want some tea, Vita? Get her some tea, Myrtle.
Let me be. Let me sit here. Let me catch my breath.
Take your coat off, Myrtle. Let Myrtle take your coat off, Vita.
Let me sit here a minute and then let me get upstairs to my own room where I can let go.
What happened to you, Mother?
Omar, I want you to sue them. They put me in and let Elwood out.
What's this?
Just look at my hair.
But why? What did you say?
I didn't do one thing. I simply told them about Elwood and Harvey.
Then how could it happen to you? I don't understand it.
I told them about Elwood and Harvey. And then I went out to the cab to get Elwood's things. As I was walking along the path, this awful man stepped out. He was a white slaver. I know he was. He's wearing one of those white suits. That's how they advertise.
A man? What did he do, Mother?
What did he do? He took hold of me and took me in there, and then he...
Go on, Vita Louise. Go on, girl.
Go on, Mother.
And then he tore my clothes off.
Did you hear that, Judge? Go on, Mother.
By God, I'll sue them for this.
And he set me down in a tub of water.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I always thought that what you were showing your face. Don't believe it, Judge. Don't believe it, Myrtle. This man took hold of me like I was a woman of the streets. But I fought. He always said that if a man grabbed hold of me, I'd fight. Haven't I always said that, Myrtle?
She's always said that, Judge. That's what Mother always told me to do.
Then he hustled me into that sanitarium and began treating me like I was a...
A what?
A crazy woman. But he did it just for spite.
Well, I'll be damned.
And then those doctors came upstairs and started asking me a bunch of questions. All about sex urges and all that filthy stuff. The place ought to be cleaned out, Omar. You better get the authorities to clean it up. Omar, Myrtle, don't go out there. You hear me?
It stinks to high heaven, Vita. By God, it stinks.
Don't forget to sue them.
I will, girl. I will sue them. By God, if Chumley thinks he can run an unsavory place like that in the outskirts of town, he'll be publicly chastised. By God, I'll run him out of the state.
I know they do at places like that. Think about sex? I don't know. Well, if it is, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. It's all in their head anyways. Why don't they just go out for long walks in the fresh air? Judge Gaffney did that for years, didn't you?
Now, let me take some notes on this. You said these doctors came up and talked to you. Dr. Chumley and, what was the other doctor's name?
Sanderson. But don't believe anything he tells you. He's a liar. Close their eyes. They're always liars. Besides, I told him something in strict confidence, and he blabbed it.
What'd you tell him, Mother?
What does it matter? I don't want to talk about it. Can't trust anybody anyways.
Whatever you told this Dr. Sanderson, you can tell us, Vita Louise. This is your daughter, and I'm your lawyer.
I know which is which, but I don't want to talk about it. I just want to sue them and get in my own room.
But Mother, this is the important thing. Where's Uncle Elwood?
I should have known better than to try and do something about him. Something protects him. That awful Puka.
Where's Uncle Elwood? Answer me.
How should I know? They let him out. I'm not interested in men at places like that. I'm not so naive, Myrtle. What's that noise?
I found a buyer for the house.
What?
So, Mother, we have to find Uncle Elwood. No matter who jumped at you, we still have to lock up Uncle Elwood.
I don't know where he is. The next time you take him, Judge. Wait till Elwood hears about this. He won't stand for it. Don't forget to sue them, Judge. Myrtle, all I hope is that never, never, as long as you live, does a man grab hold of you, tear the clothes off of you, and set you in a tub of water.
You see, Mother muffed everything. No matter what happened, Uncle Elwood is still wandering out there with Harvey.
Thing for me to do is take some more notes.
It's all Uncle Elwood's fault. He found out what she was up to and put her in.
It's not your uncle. Don't talk like that. Your uncle thinks the world and all of your mother. He would never do anything like that to her. Besides, ever since he was a young boy, he wanted to share everything he had with her.
I'm not giving up. We'll get detectives. We'll find him. And besides, you better save some of that sympathy for me and Mother. You don't know what we have to put up with. Wait until I show you what Uncle Elwood brought home a couple of months ago. We hid it in the garage. You just wait.
I'm going up to talk to Vita. There's more than that's just coming. I sense that.
Wait until I show you, Judge.
All right, I'll wait.
All right. Is he here?
What?
The
What's
crime
this?
spot. With the rabbit. Is he here?
No, and who, may I ask, are you?
Not here, doctor. Look, Dr. Chumley's coming in anyway. What's your name?
Chumley. Well, I've got something to say to him.
Well, the reason why I asked you your name is because the doctor likes to know who he's talking to. Now, hurry up and tell us your name.
I am Judge Gaffney. Where's Chumley?
It's right here.
Chumley. Well.
Let's get this over with quickly, Judge. How's he been here?
Who? Elwood? No, but see here, Doctor.
You sure now? He's wise. And if he's hiding, it'll be a terrible job to smoke him out.
It'll be difficult. They're sly, they're cunning, but I get them. I always get them. Wilson, do you have the list of places we've been?
Right here, doctor.
Read it.
We've been to 17 bars. Eddie's place, Charlie's place, Bessie's Born Dance, the 4th Avenue Firehouse, the 10th and 12th and 9th Avenue Firehouse, just to be sure. The Union Station, the grain elevator. Say, why did this guy go down to the grain elevator?
The foreman is a friend of his. He has many friends, many places.
Well, we came down here today to ask Miss Simmons if she has any and any recommendations as to where we might look for Ellen.
Doctor, I have to inform you that Mrs. Simmons has retained me to file a suit against you.
What?
For what happened to her at the sanitarium this afternoon?
A suit!
And while we're on that subject,
That's pretty in it, Doc. After you dragged your tail all around town looking for this guy.
What happened this afternoon was an unfortunate mistake. I've already dismissed my assistant responsible for it, and I'm willing to look into this case personally and interesting. And my interest is worth nothing no amount of money can buy. You can ask any of them.
but this business this afternoon, Doctor.
Water under the dam. That's how I see it. I see it this way. What's most important is that we get him back to the sanitarium where he belongs.
That's right, that's just what I think.
May I introduce Miss Myrtle May Simmons, Mr. Gaffney's Mrs. Simmons' daughter.
Hello, Miss Simmons.
How do you do, Dr. Chumley?
Hi, Myrtle.
Now then, let me talk to Mrs. Simmons.
Mother won't come down, Doctor. I know she won't. You try to get Mother to talk to him, Judge.
See here, Myrtle May, your mother was manhandled. She was, God knows what she was. The man's approach to her was not professional. It was personal.
Wilson, this is a serious charge.
Dr. Chumley, I've been with you for 10 years, and you're gonna believe this. What's her name again?
Gaffney, Judge Omar Gaffney.
Thank you. You're gonna believe this old blister Gaffney?
Wilson!
Over me. Me and a dame who sees a rabbit.
It's not Mrs. Simmons who sees a rabbit, it's her brother.
Yes, it's Uncle Elwood.
Now, if you'll come with me, Doctor.
Very well. Wilson, I'm off to attend this. Wait for me here.
Okay, doctor. So, your name's Myrtle May.
Oh, what?
And, if you hold your doctor, your uncle here, you're liable to coming out here on visiting days.
Oh, I don't really know any of that.
Well, if you do, I'll be here.
You will? Oh.
And if not, stick around. I'll show up eventually.
You will? Oh.
You heard Dr. Chumley tell me to wait.
Yeah.
Well, while I'm waiting, not you, I can show you a sandwich and a cup of coffee.
If you forgive me, I'd proceed to the kitchen.
You're all right, Myrtle May. Doctor told me noticed it right away. He don't miss a trick. Tell you what, kid. Not only you got a nice build, but let me tell you something else. You got the screwiest uncle to ever stick his puss inside a nut house.
Your phone ring? Oh, sorry, open. No, wrong number. Yeah, I was right.
Hello, Chumley's Rest. Is Dr. Chumley there? Oh, it's Miss Chumley. How are you tonight? Tell me, Miss Chumley, were you able to find Harvey? Don't worry about it, I'll find him. I'm sorry I missed you at the McClure cocktail party. The people there were all charming, and I was able to leave quite a few of my cards. I waited until you phoned me to tell me that a patient had escaped. Where am I? Oh, I'm here, but I'm leaving right away. I must go find Harvey. Yes. Goodbye. My regards to you and anybody else who you happen to run into. Goodbye now. Ah, there it is.
for $50,000, and that's the final.
Miss Simmons,
Yes, well, all right.
this painting of yours.
It happens to be the pride of this house.
Could you tell me who painted it?
Some man, I forgot his name. He was here for the sittings, and then we paid him and he left. Yes? Hello? Oh, no, this is Dexter 1567.
Suppose if you pay someone enough, they'll do just about anything.
Doctor, do you remember what I told you when you helped me out of that bathtub at your place?
You expressed yourself in some manner, and I don't remember how.
I said, Dr. Chummy, this is a belated civility. Isn't that what I said?
Something of the sort.
Well, you brought this up. You may as well learn something. I took a course in art this last winter. The difference between a fine oil painting and something mechanical like a photograph is simply this. A photograph shows you the reality. A painting shows you the reality and the dream behind it. Our dreams are what keep us going. It's what separates us from the beast. If I thought life was only eating, sleeping, and taking my clothes off while putting them back on again. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Steady, take a seat here.
Oh my God!
What's wrong?
Doctor, that is not my mother.
I'm glad to hear that.
Elwood's been here. He's been here.
You better be quiet then. I'll take this. Hello? Yes? Yes? Miss Simmons, it's your brother.
Oh, let me speak to him.
Be cool. Do not tell him I'm here.
Hello, Elwood? Yes, where are you, Elwood? Oh, well, all right. He says for me to call Harvey to the telephone.
Tell him Harvey cannot come to the telephone. Say he's in the bathtub.
Bathtub?
Yes, he's in the bathtub and he carries the phone. You must tell him that.
Hello, Elwood? Yes, dear, Harvey is here, but he can't make it to the phone right now. He's in the bathtub. We'll send him over as soon as he's dry. Where are you? What?
Did he hang up?
Harvey just walked in the door. He said it must be a stranger in the bathtub. But I know where he is. He's over down at that bar down in 12th and Main.
12th and Main, that's 2 down and 1 over, correct?
Doctor, where are you going?
I'm going to find your brother and bring him back to the sanitarium where he belongs.
No, Doctor. I'm warning you. Send one of your assistants.
Miss Simmons, if I am to help your brother...
There's no help for him. He must be locked up and left.
Do you consider him dangerous?
Dangerous?
Why?
I won't tell you why. If I didn't, why would I be asking for permanent commitment?
Then I must observe this man and see the way he speaks to his rabbit. You do say he speaks to him, correct?
They tell each other everything.
What's that?
Said of course he speaks to him. But don't go, I'm warning you.
Nonsense. You underestimate Mr. Simmons.
No, Doctor. You underestimate my brother. Oh, Myrtle, will you see who's in the bathtub? Oh.
This one's from Kelly Wilson Simpson.
I may call later.
How about the stuff in your room, Doctor? Upstairs?
All packed. Thanks, Wilson.
Stuff again bounced. Had you pay for ones? Where did they grade?
Those are the breaks.
So when are you taking off?
As soon as Dr. Trumley gets back.
Kelly, have you heard back from the desk sergeant at the Police Accident Bureau?
Not yet. I just got off the phone with the downtown dispensary. They haven't seen him.
It's starting to all funny, dude. 4 hours he's been gone, and not a word from him. I may not see you again, Doctor, so I wanted to let you know. But I wish you a lot of luck. I'm mighty sorry that I kicked your dad, right?
I wish you a lot of luck too, Wilson.
Kelly, let me know when you get back from the desk, Sergeant. If no word comes of him, I'm going to town to look after to find Dr. Chumley. He knows better than to go after a psycho without me.
I'd like to help look for the doctor too, Wilson.
That's swell of you, Doctor. After you gave me the brush.
I have no resentments against Dr. Chumley. He was right, and I was wrong. He's the biggest man in his field, and it's my loss not to be able to work with him.
No, Doctor, you're not so smart yourself.
Thanks, Wilson.
Thanks.
Dr. Sanderson?
Yes?
Well, Doctor, I just wanted to say that I wish you a lot of luck too, and I'm terribly sorry to see you leave.
Are you sure you can spare these good wishes, Kelly?
On second thought, I guess I can't forget it.
Oh, and this is for nothing. Just a little advice. I'd be a little careful about the kind of company I kept.
I beg your pardon, Doctor?
You don't have to. I said it was free. I saw you dancing with that trick down at the Rose Room in the Frontier Hotel.
Oh, did you? I didn't notice you.
To me, he looked like a schizophrenic from all the way across the floor.
You really shouldn't have paid him any mind, Doctor. It was my date, not yours.
That was his mentality. The rest of him, well...
Oh, but she was beautiful, though.
Who?
That girl you were with.
I thought you said you didn't notice.
You bumped into us twice. How could I help it?
Not that it makes any difference to you, but that girl is a charming little lady. She has a sweet, kind disposition, and she knows how to conduct herself.
Well, funny she couldn't rate a better date on a Saturday night.
And she has an excellent mind.
Oh, well, why doesn't she use it?
Oh, and I don't suppose you're to be censured for that flippin' hard shell you have. You're probably compensating for something.
I am not, and don't you use any of your psychiatry on me.
Oh, if I could try something just once, just to see if you'd melt under any circumstances, I doubt it.
You'll never know, Doctor.
Because you interest me as a case history, that's all. I like to know where you get that inflated ego.
If you aren't the meanest case history, inflated ego?
Wait, let's finish this.
Oh, leave me alone.
Gladly.
Chumley's rest. Oh, yes, Sergeant. No, not yet, Sergeant. No accident report on him either in town or the suburbs? Look, Sergeant, maybe we just better... Oh, never mind, they're here now. Mr. Dowd.
Hello, my dear. These are for you.
For me? Thank you.
They're quite fresh, too. I just picked them outside.
I hope Dr. Chumley didn't see you. These are his prized dahlias. Did he go upstairs?
Not knowing, I cannot stay. Those colors look lovely against your hair.
Thank you. I've never worn burnt orange before. Is Dr. Chumley over at his house?
I don't know. Where's Dr. Sanderson?
In his office there, I think.
Thank you.
Mr. Dowd,
I have a cab outside. You and Miss Kelly can get away now.
where's Dr. Chumley?
Oh, is he going with us? That's nice.
I don't know, Doctor.
I must apologize for being a few seconds late. I thought Miss Kelly should have some flowers. After what happened here this afternoon, you should be the one giving her the the flowers, Doctor. As you grow older and pretty women pass you by, you will think with deep gratitude of the generous girls of your youth. Shall we go down to Charlie's now?
Just a second, Mr. Dowd. I'm afraid the situation has changed since we met this afternoon. I heard you'd have no resentments. Dr. Chumley is your friend. He only wants to help you.
That's nice of him. I'd like to help him too.
If you'll begin by taking a cooperative attitude, that's half the battle. We all have to face reality, Dowd, sooner or later.
Doctor, I've wrestled with reality for 40 years, and I'm happy to state I finally won out over it. Are you guys ready to go down to Charlie's now?
Oh, here you are. Listen, you. Upstairs, you come with me.
There must be some mistake. I have a date out here with Dr. Sanderson and Miss Kelly.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Is the doctor okay?
I'd be glad.
Oh, I'd be glad to have you come with us, Mr.
Wilson.
Wilson. They have a wonderful floor show.
Yeah? Well, wait, you still for so we've got upstairs, buddy.
Just a minute, Wilson. Dad, where'd you say Dr. Trumley went?
I don't know.
You mean the doctor ain't shown up yet?
Not yet.
Well, where is he?
That's what we're trying to find out.
Dr. Trumley, oh, sorry.
Mr. Dad walked in here by himself.
Oh, he did, eh? Listen, you. Start talking fast or I'm working you over.
I'd rather you didn't do that, and I'd rather you didn't even say such a thing in front of a lovely young lady like Miss Kelly.
Mr. Dowd, you did see Dr. Trumley tonight.
Yes, I saw him down at Charlie's. It is a cozy spot. Let's go down there and have a drink.
We're going no place. And if you don't bun up your lip and start giving me some straight answers, I'm gonna beat it out of you.
What you suggest isn't possible.
What's that?
You suggest that I button up my lip and give you some straight answers. It can't be done.
Let me handle this, Wilson.
Fine. Then you handle it. I'll find out what the doctor is.
Dad, Dr. Trumley did come into Charlie's place, you said.
Yes, he did. I was very happy to see him.
Go on.
He had asked for me, and naturally the proprietor brought him over. We exchanged the conventional greetings. I said, "How do you do, Dr. Trumley?" He said, "How do you do, Mr. Dowd?" I believe we said that at least once.
Okay.
I'm trying to be factual. Then I introduced him to Harvey.
Who?
A white rabbit, 6 feet tall.
6 feet tall?
6'1.5".
Fine. Fool around. And the doctor's probably somewhere bleeding to death in a ditch.
If those were his plans for the evening, he did not tell me.
Go on, Dowd.
Dr. Trumley sat down in the booth with us. I sat on the outside like this. Harvey sat on the inside near the wall. And Dr. Trumley sat right across from Harvey so we could look at him.
Fine. Spend all night on seating arrangements.
Harvey then suggested that I buy him a drink. Knowing he doesn't like to drink alone, I suggested to Dr. Trumley that we go and join him.
And then what?
We joined him.
And after that?
We joined him again.
And then?
We kept right on joining him.
Oh, skip on joining.
You're asking me to skip a large portion of the evening.
Come on, just tell me the doctor is. Come on.
After the joining, Harvey and Dr. Trumley got into an argument. Harvey seemed to feel that Dr. Trumley should assume a part of the financial responsibility of the joining. Dr. Trumley didn't seem to want to do that.
I can believe that part of it.
As I didn't want any trouble, I decided that I would take the whole thing. Harvey and I go down to Charlie's quite often, and the proprietor is a fine young man with an interesting approach to life. Then the other matter came up.
Skip all the damn don't talk. Get on with it.
Mr. Wilson. Just a second. Mr. Dowd.
You say the other matter came up?
There's a beautiful blonde woman, a Mrs. Smithles, and her escort sitting in the booth across from us. Dr. Trumley went over and said and decided to chat with her, saying that they had met once in Chicago. Her escort escorted Dr. Trumley back to our booth and pointed out that it would be better for Dr. Trumley to mind his own affairs. Does he have any?
I mean, what?
Does he have any affairs?
How should I know?
Please hurry, Mr. Dad. We're all so worried.
Harvey and Dr. Trumley got into a conversation. Quietly at first, but later became rather heated, and Dr. Trumley raised his voice.
Yeah? Why?
Dr. Trumley urged Harvey to go to Blondie's Chicken Inn, but Harvey didn't want to do that and wanted to go to Eddie's instead. While they were arguing about it, I went back to the bar to get another drink, and when I came back, they were gone.
Well, where'd they go? I mean, where'd the doctor go?
I don't know. I had a date out here with Dr. Sanders and Miss Kelly. And I thought that if we ran into them, then we would make a party of it.
Is that so? Okay, your story? You satisfied? Okay, you're lying, and we know about it.
I never lied, Mr. Wilson.
You've done some with the doctor, and we're finding out what it is.
Maybe he isn't lying, Wilson.
All this guy is a bunch of lies. You two don't seriously believe the story about Dr. Chumley going to Charlie's place with a big rabbit, do you?
Maybe Dr. Chumley did go down to Charlie's place.
With a big white rabbit, I suppose.
And why not? Charlie, what? Harvey was there. The doctor was very frightened of Harvey at first, but then later gave on to admiration as the evening wore on. The evening wore on. That's a nice expression. With your permission, I'll say it again. The evening wore on.
With your permission, I'm gonna knock your teeth down your throat.
Don't touch him, Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, don't you have some friends you can go play with?
The nerve of this guy. He could have come out here with some ordinary case of DTs. No, he had to come out here with a big rabbit.
Charlie's place. Is Dr. Chumley anywhere around there? Oh, well, mine don't bite my head off. That man was mad. He said Mr. Dad was welcome any time, but his friend was none.
That's Mr. McNulty, the bartender. He thinks a lot of me. Now, let's go down to Charlie's.
Wait a minute.
Oh, Mr. Dad.
Yes, my dear, may I hold your hand?
Yes, if you'd like. Please, poor Miss Chumley is so worried about the doctor. Won't you try and remember something that might help us, please?
For you, I would do anything. I would be almost willing to live my life over again. Almost. But I've told it all.
You're sure?
Quite sure. But say it again, won't you? I like that warm tone you had in your voice just then.
So did I.
Oh, nuts.
What?
Nuts.
Oh, I must be going now.
Oh, Mr. Dad, what is it that you do?
Harvey and I sit in the bars. We have a drink or two. Play the jukebox. Soon, the faces of strangers turn towards ours and smile. They're saying, "Don't know your name, mister, but you're a lovely fellow." Harvey and I warm ourselves in all these golden moments. We've entered as strangers. Soon we have friends. They sit with us, they talk to us, they drink with us, they tell us about the terrible things they've done and the wonderful things they will do. Their hopes, their regrets, their loves, their hates, all very large because nobody ever brings anything small into a bar. Then I introduce them to Harvey, and he is bigger and grander than anything they offer me. When they leave impressed. The same people seldom come back. But that's envy, my dear. There's a little bit of envy in the best of us. It's not too bad.
How did you happen to call him Harvey?
Harvey's his name.
Yes, but how do you know that?
That's a rather interesting coincidence, Doctor. One night, several years ago, I was ushering Ed Hickey into a taxi on 18th and 19th, Fairfax. You know that one?
Yes, I believe I did.
Ed Hickey had been mixing his rye and his gin, and I felt he needed conveying. So, and then I heard a voice that said, "Good evening, Mr. Dowd." Now, when you've lived in a town as long as I've lived in this one, you get used to the fact that everybody knows your name. Naturally, I turn around to talk with him. He said, "Ed Hickey is a bit stiff this evening, or could I be mistaken?" Of course, he wasn't mistaken. I think the world and all of Ed, but he was stiffed. Anyway, we talked, and I finally asked, "You have the advantage of me. You know my name, and I don't know yours." And right back at me, he said, "What name do you like?" And I didn't have to think a minute. Harvey's always been my favorite name. So I said, "Harvey." Now, this is the interesting part of this whole thing. He said, "What a coincidence. My name happens to be Harvey."
Mr. Dowd, what was your father's name?
John Frederick.
When you were a child, you had a playmate, didn't you? Someone with whom you spent many happy, carefree hours.
Yes, didn't you?
What was his name?
Vern McElhinney. Did you know the McElhinney's, Doctor?
No.
Too bad. They circulated. Wonderful people.
Mr. Dowd, think. Isn't there anyone, anywhere at any time, with whom you knew by the name of Harvey?
No, Doctor, no one. Maybe that's why I always had such
Come on, Mr. Dove. Come on, Elwood.
Very well, Lyman. But I must be getting going soon. I have to meet with Harvey.
Oh, man. Dr. Chumley, are you all right?
All right. Of course I'm all right. I'm being followed. Just close that door. Face your smart.
Being followed? By who?
That's none of your business.
Dr. Chumley, how'd you go in here? I saw you go through there.
I went out through my window. Wilson, don't leave me.
No, doctor.
Get that man down, out of here.
Okay,
No, don't leave me.
what you just said.
Dumpy, on the telephone.
Duffy, get that guy down his clothes and bring him down here right away.
Don't leave me.
Just a second, Doc.
I want to see Dr. Chumley. Chumley, this thing is serious.
It certainly is.
More serious than you'd expect. Where can we go to talk?
Not in here.
The doctor doesn't want you in his office.
No.
Okay, then sit down, Dr. Chumley. Sit down, young man.
Sit down, Dr. Chumley. Right away. Wilson, don't leave me.
Now, Chumley, here are my notes, the facts. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we all hear you. Is that okay?
Now, Chumley, has it ever occurred to you that there might actually be something like this rabbit Harvey?
Of course there isn't. And anyone who thinks so is crazy. Well, don't look at me like that. I'm like my father's son. They're all dead.
Now then, my client, the plaintiff, Mrs. Vita Louise Simmons, under oath, swears that on the morning of November 2nd, while standing in the kitchen of her home, hearing her name called, turned to see this great white rabbit Harvey. He was staring at her. Resenting the intrusion, the plaintiff made certain remarks and drove the creature from the room. He went.
What did she say?
She was emphatic. The remarks are not important.
I want to know how she got that creature out of her sanitarium, or her home.
I hate to have you tell him, Judge. It's not a bit like Mother.
Quit stalling. Let's have it.
She looked him right in the eye and exclaimed in the heat of the anger, "To hell with you!"
To hell with you. And he left.
Yes, he left, but that's besides the point. The point is it perjury, or is it something we can cope with? I ask for your opinion.
Ruthie, I've been looking all over for you. I wanted to say goodbye before I went.
Dr. Shenson, disregard what I said this afternoon. I want you on my team. You're a very astute young man.
Oh, Lyman, did you hear?
Oh, Ruthie. Oh,
See you later.
You have to keep Elwood out here, Doctor.
No, I need the sanitarium the way it was before that man came out here.
I know what you mean.
You do?
Well, it certainly gets annoying when Uncle Elwood knows everything before it even happens. This morning, for instance, he told us about how the McElhenney's Aunt Rose would drop in later from Cleveland.
And did she?
Did she what?
Aunt Rose, did she drop by?
Oh, yes. Things like that always happen the way that Elwood says it. Well, what is it to us? What do we care about the McElhenneys?
You say these sort of things happen often?
Yes, and isn't it silly? He says that Harvey tells him everything, and Harvey knows everything. But how is that such a thing when Harvey's not real?
Fly specks. I've been living amongst fly specks while just miracles are leaning on lampposts on 18th and Fairfax.
Good. Nobody here but people.
Well, Mother, you promised you wouldn't come out here.
Well, good afternoon, Myrtle. I brought Elwood's bathrobe. Well, why are you all just standing there? I thought you'd be committing him by now.
Sit down there, girl.
I will not sit down there.
How about you and me stepping out on Saturday night, Myrtle, mate?
Certainly not.
I'm sorry.
Is everything settled?
It will be.
Dr. Chumley, I get an opinion.
Yes, of course, by all means.
His opinion? Omar, that's the doctor I told you about. The eyes.
Dr. Chumley, it is my opinion that Elwood P. Dowd is suffering from a third-degree hallucination, and the other party concerned is a victim of autosuggestion. I recommend shock formula 977 for him and bed rest at home for...
You do.
That's my diagnosis, doctor. Your brother will not see this rabbit anymore after this injection. We have used it in hundreds of psychopathic cases.
Don't you call my brother a psychopathic case? We've never had anything like that in our family.
Well, if you didn't think Uncle Elwood was psychopathic, why did you bring him out here?
Where else could I take him? I couldn't take him to jail, could I? Besides, this thing is not your uncle's fault. Why did Harvey have to speak to him in the first place? In a town full of people, why did Harvey have to bother Elwood?
Stop putting your oar in. Keep your oar out. If this shock formula brings people back to reality, give it to him. That's where we want Elwood.
I'm not sure we're working a case of this kind, Doctor.
It always has.
Harvey always follows Elwood home.
He does?
Yes, but if you give him the formula and Elwood doesn't see Harvey, he won't let him in. And if he comes to the door, I'll deal with him.
Mother, won't you stop talking about Harvey as if it's such a thing?
Myrtle, you've got a lot to learn, and I hope you never learn it.
Shh, here he is.
Good evening, everyone.
Elwood, I brought you your bathrobe.
Did you, Vita? Thank you.
Well, Chumley, what do we do? We've got to do something.
Yes, we must.
It is imperative, yes.
Well, while we discuss this, why don't we go down to Charlie's?
Oh, no, you stay here.
Yes, Uncle Elwood.
Stay here, son.
I plan to leave. You want me to stay? An element of conflict in any discussion is a good thing. It means we're all taking part and no one's left out. I like that. Oh, how did you get along with Harvey, Doctor?
Shh.
What is your opinion, Doctor?
What?
What is your decision?
I must be alone with this man. Will you all please step into the other room?
Please hurry, Doctor.
I will.
Oh, no, you stay here.
Mr. Dowd, let me offer you this chair. Is there anything else I may get you?
What do you have in mind?
Tell me, Mr. Dowd, what kind of man are you? Where do you come from?
Didn't I give you one of my cards?
And where on the face of this tired old earth did you find a thing like him?
Harvey the Puka.
Is it true that he has a function, that he...
Gets advance notice? I'm happy to say it is. Harvey is versatile. Harvey can stop a clock.
What?
Haven't you heard that expression? His face would stop a clock.
Yes, but why? To what purpose?
Harvey says he can look at your clock and stop it. You can go as long as you like, with whomever you like, and go as far as you like. When you come right back, Not 1 minute will ticked by.
And does he do this for you?
He's willing to at any time. But so far, I haven't thought of any other place I'd rather be. I have a fine time just wherever I am, whomever I'm with. I'm having a fine time with you, Doctor.
I know where I'd go.
Where?
Akron.
Akron?
Yes, there's a cottage there, a grove of maple trees, cool, green, and beautiful.
My favorite tree.
I would go there with a pretty young woman, a quiet woman, a strange woman.
Under a tree?
I wouldn't even want to know her name. To her, I'd be just Mr. Brown.
How would you want to know her name? You might be acquainted with the same people.
I would send out for cold beer and tell her things I've never told anyone. Things I keep in here. And then I would send out for more cold beer.
No whiskey?
No, beer is better.
Maybe under a tree, but she might like a highball.
I wouldn't let her talk to me, but as I talked, I would like her to reach out a soft, white hand and say, "Oh, poor thing, poor thing."
How long would you like that to go on?
2 weeks.
Wouldn't that get monotonous? Just Akron beer and poor thing for 2 weeks?
No, it would be wonderful.
I feel like you're making a mistake in not allowing the woman to talk. If she gets around at all, she might have come across some very interesting little news items. And I'm sure you're making a mistake with all that beer and no whiskey, but it's your 2 weeks.
Tell me, Doc, would he do this for me?
He could and he might. I never heard Harvey say a word against Akron. By the way, Doc, where is Harvey?
You mean you don't know?
Last time I saw him, he was with you. You might be down at Charlie's.
Yes, he must be down at Charlie's. Not in there, Doc.
I couldn't leave without saying goodbye to my friend Dr. Sanderson.
Mr. Doc, Dr. Sanderson is not your friend. In fact, none of those people are your friend. I am your friend, Mr. Doc.
Thank you, Doctor, and I'm yours.
In fact, this sister, she's at the bottom of this conspiracy against you. She came out here this afternoon to have you committed. She's got your power of attorney and the key to your lockbox. In fact,
My sister did all of that in one afternoon? Vita certainly is a whirlwind.
God, man, don't you have any righteous indignation?
Dr. Chumley, my mother used to say to me, in this world, Elwood, she used to always call me Elwood, she'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. The years I was smart, I recommend pleasant. You may quote me.
Very well. I will commit her if I have to. Would you like me to do that?
Oh, no, Doctor, no. I don't think Vita should stay out here. Oh, not that you don't have a nice place out here, but I think Vita would be happier at home with me and Harvey and Myrtle May. Miss Kelly, diviner grace has never brightened this enchanting face. Oh, it's mythology. My dear, you're lovelier.
I'll never feel happier, Mr. Dowd.
Wow!
Oh, yes, Doctor. I wonder if I'll be able to remember any more of that poem.
Well, maybe this rabbit gag is a good one. Kind of gets me.
Oh, it's always been my favorite poet.
Okay, pal. You're discharged. Come on, me. Come on.
Will Wilson, take your hands off that man.
What?
Apologize.
You want me to apologize to this crackpot with the rabbit?
Apologize. Apologize.
Not apologize, sir. Close the door.
If I leave, I'll remember.
Wait, Mr. Dowd. Do women often come up and kiss you like Miss Kelly did just now?
Every now and then.
Yes?
I encourage it, too.
To hell with decency. I've got to get that rabbit. Go ahead and knock, Dad.
Oh, Dr. Sanderson, I couldn't leave without saying...
Just a second. Dr. Chumley, do you agree with my diagnosis?
Yes, bring them all in.
Thank you, Doctor. Mrs. Simmons, Judge Gaffney, will you come in here, please?
Is it settled?
I find I concur with Dr. Sanderson.
Thank you, Doctor.
Wonderful, what a relief.
Good boy. Let's celebrate. I have a couple of bars listed on the back of this book.
Listen, this formula carries a violent reaction. We can't give it without consent. Will we get it?
You will if I ask you to.
To give up this rabbit? I doubt it.
Don't just ask him, just give it to him.
barn dance, Blondie's Chicken Inn, Better Late Than Never, Benny's Drive-In.
Elwood!
We'll go to Benny's Drive-In. I'll book us a table. How many there will there be, Vita?
Oh, Elwood!
Elwood, you won't see this rabbit anymore.
But you will see your responsibilities and your duties.
If you thought of it, Doctor, it must be a very fine thing. And if I happen to run into anybody else who needs it, I'd be glad to recommend it. For myself, I wouldn't care for it.
Hear that, Judge? Hear that, Doctor? That's what we have to put up with.
Vita, do you want me to take this?
Oh, Elwood, I'm only looking out for you. You're my brother, and I've known you for years. I'd do anything for you. That Harvey wouldn't do anything for you. He's making a fool out of you. Don't be a fool.
Oh, I won't.
Why, you could amount to something. You could be sitting on the Western Slope Water Board right now if only you'd go over and ask them.
Okay, if that's what you want, Harvey and I will go and ask them tomorrow.
Tomorrow? I never want to see another tomorrow. Not if Myrtle May and I have to live with that rabbit. Our friends never come to see us. We have no social life. We have no life at all. We're both miserable. But maybe you don't care.
Shall we, Dad? I've always felt that Vita should have everything she wants. Vita, are you sure? Okay. Where do I go, Doctor?
In Sanderson's office, Mr. Scott.
Say goodbye to the old fella for me, won't you?
How long will this take, Doctor?
Just a few minutes. You guys can wait.
All right, we'll wait.
Dr. Sanderson said it won't take long.
Mother, don't fidget.
Well, how can I help it?
Come in. What do you want?
Looking for a little short.
Oh, there you are.
Lady, you jumped out of the cab without paying me.
Oh, I forgot. How much was it?
All the way out here from town, $2.75.
$2.75. I could have sworn I brought my car in purse. Myrtle May, do you have $2.75 I can pay this cab driver?
I spent all the money Uncle gave me to get my hair done for the party.
Judge, do you have $2.75 I can pay this cab driver with?
Nothing but a check.
We don't take checks.
I know.
Dr. Chumley, do you have $2.75 I can pay this cab driver?
I haven't gotten my wallet on me, but I must get on with this injection. Sorry.
Well, I'll get it from my brother Elwood. He's in there getting an injection. It won't be long. You'll have to wait.
You're going to get my money from your brother, and he's in there to get some of the stuff they shoot out here?
Yes, but it'll only be a few minutes.
Lady, I want my money now.
But I said it'd only be a few minutes.
And I told you I want my money now, or I'm nosing the cab back to town, and you can wait for the bus at 6 in the morning.
Of all the pig-headed stubborn things.
I should say so.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing that $2.75 won't fix. You heard me. Take it or leave it.
That isn't the most unreasonable thing I've ever heard of. Dr. Chumley, will you let Elwood step out here for a minute so I can pay this cab driver? He won't wait.
Not too long now, Mr. Dad.
Elwood, do you have $2.75 I can pay this cab driver? Don't give him any more. He's been very rude.
That's my name, Elwood P.
Lachlan's mine, EJ.
I'm glad to meet you. This is my sister, Vita Louise Simmons, my charming little niece, Myrtle May Simmons, Judge Gaffney, and Dr. Chumley.
Hi.
Have you lived around here long, Mr. Lochran?
Lived around here all my life.
Do you enjoy your work?
It's okay. I've been with Apex Cabs 15 years now. And my brother Joe's been driving for Brown Cabs pretty near 12.
You drive for Apex and your brother Joe's for Browns. Isn't that interesting, Vita? Let me give you one of my cards.
Not too long now, Mr. Dad.
My sister and my charming little niece live here at this address. Won't you and your brother come down and join us for dinner sometime?
Sure, be glad to.
When would you be glad to?
Couldn't come any night but Tuesday. I'm on duty all the rest of the week.
Then on Tuesday, you and your brother will come over to our house for dinner. And we'll be delighted, won't we, Vita?
Well, I'm sure this man has friends of his own.
Vita, one can't have too many friends.
Elwood, don't keep Dr. Chumley waiting. It's rude.
Of course. Here you go, keep the change. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go.
Sweet guy.
Certainly. You could have just waited, though.
No. Listen, lady. I've been driving this group 15 years now. I bring them out here to get the stuff and drive it back after they had it. It changes them.
Well, I sure hope so.
And you ain't kidding. On the way out here, they sit back. They talk to me. Sometimes we stop and watch the sunsets and look at the birds flying. Sometimes we look at the birds when there ain't no birds and look at the sunsets when it's raining. And they have a swell time. And I always get a big tip. But afterwards, uh-oh.
Afterwards? Uh-oh. What do you mean afterwards? Oh.
They crab. They yell at me to watch the lights, watch the brakes, watch the intersections. They got no faith in me or my buggy. It's the same cab, the same driver. We're going back over the very same road. It ain't no fun and no tip.
Well, my brother would have tipped you. He's very generous. Always has been.
Not after this, he won't be. Lady, after this, he'll be a perfectly normal human being. And you know what bastards they are. I'm glad I met you. I'll wait.
Judge Gaffney! Myrtle May! Stop it! Dr. Chumley, let out!
You can't do that. Dr. Chumley's giving the injection.
Mother, stop this.
Let out! I don't want him that way. I don't like people like that.
Do something with her, Judge. Mother, stop this.
Oh, you shut up. I've lived longer than you have. I remember my father. I remember your father. I remember...
What's with all this noise?
What's the matter, Doc? She sent off again?
She wants to stop the injection.
Wilson, take her out of here.
Let go of me, you white slaver! You haven't given them the injections, have you?
No, not yet.
You don't know what you want. You didn't want Harvey either.
Well, what does it matter if Elwood, Myrtle May, and I want to live with Harvey? You don't even have to come around. It's none of your business. Elwood!
There. You're just all tired out. Just done a lot today.
Well, have it your own way, but I'm not giving up my game at the club again, no matter how big the animal is.
Elwood, let's get out of here. Never want to see this place again.
Wait, but,
It's whatever Venus says, Doctor.
Well, look at this. Had my own personal alarm. Could have paid that cab driver myself. Oh, Harvey. Let's go, Myrtle. Let's go, Elwood.
Go on. I'll see you out. Goodbye, Dr. Chumley. Goodbye, Mr. Wilson.
Elwood, come along.
One moment. Dr. Chumley, I've always known what my family thinks of Harvey. But I've always wondered what Harvey's family thinks of me. There you are! Oh, I beg your pardon, Doctor. You'll excuse me. You're standing in sweat. Come on, Harvey. I've been looking all over for you. Where have you been?
the